Hello, Professor Halsey here, and this is an amazing week because this week we learned to pull files into our program or send files out to, or send code out to a file or information out to a file. So it's part of how we can read and write data to and from our code, and that way we can interact with it and create a new file based on the contents of our code. So it's a lot of fun and pretty powerful feeling to be able to read data in from files and then to publish data to a new file. So we're looking at a built-in function that's called open, and that allows us to open that file, and it is directory specific. So if you're not putting in the file path, for instance, documents, then you may want to make sure that it's in the same directory that your code is, and that way it can read that file. Otherwise, you have to put in the full path that shows it where that file is, and that's part of the journey of learning to read and write to files. Okay, so here we look at the open function creates a file object. The read function saves the contents of the file as a string. Okay, so here they create a variable called myjournal, and they open journey.text. Then there's a variable called contents, and we do a read on my journal. So on the journal.text, they're reading the data in from there. Okay, assume a text file exists named myfile.txt. Do that when you're trying to open it and you have headaches with your code. You have to check and make sure the file exists before you try to open it. So for these examples, they're assuming that it exists and that it's there. And I'm here to tell you if it's not, none of this works. You have to make sure that file is in the same directory because they're not given any paths here for the file, so it has to be in that same folder and it has to exist. Okay, to open built-in function requires a single argument that specifies the path to the file. That was kind of what I was talking about. Open myfile.txt located in the same directory as the executing script. Full path names can also be specified as in, and then they give a direct, an example there of what the file path could look like. The file close method closes the file, after which no more reads or writes to the file are allowed. And we need to close those files to make sure that nothing happens to them. You can't just leave the refrigerator open. We have to close the door when we're done. The most common methods to read text from a file are file read and file read lines. The file read method returns the file contents as a string. The file read lines method returns a list of strings where the first element is the contents of the first line and the second element is the contents of the second line, so it breaks it down into lines. Both methods can be given an optional argument that specifies the number of bytes to read from the file. Each method stops reading when the end of file, or EOF, is detected. So you'll want to note that because EOF is very specific. If we don't tell it where the end of the file is, then when it starts reading, it'll just keep reading throughout memory because it won't know where that particular file stops. Okay. Third method, file read line, returns a single line at a time, which is useful when dealing with large files where the entire file contents may not fit into the available system memory. So you may not be able to fit a large amount in the system memory at a time, so you can bring in one line for processing at a time. Yep. Part of it depends on what your data is and what you're doing with your data and all of that. So you really just have to look at that. But knowing how to do the different methods makes it easy to achieve your goal. Okay, so here, complete the statement to open the file readme.txt for reading. So they have my file equals, and we'll go open readme, so how do you spell .txt. Okay, complete the statement to read up to 500 bytes from the readme text into the variable called contents. All right, so here we've got contents equal, and we take my file, and we're going to use our dot operator here, and we're going to pull in the read. All right, read, and we want to read, they said 500 bytes. So we put the 500 bytes there, and that takes care of that. Complete the program by printing the second line of readme.txt. So they open the file, and they read lines to read it into lines. So then we would print lines to 1. Oops, wrong direction. Processing data from a file. Like I said, that's what this is all about, is being able to take external data, read it into code, and then process it. And then pull, like Matplotlib, and use that to do some plotting, and then you've just got a really powerful program to handle large amounts of data. Big data is what they call it, and data analytics. Calculating the average of data values stored in a text file. So this is an example, and if you have a mydata.txt file, it will read this. If you don't, then it won't. It contains 100 integers, each on its own line. Interesting, okay. All right, and I would suggest creating that and running it, because it's really good practice for being able to open and write to a file. We're going to get a little bit of that here as well. Iterating over the lines of a file, so you can open the file and then use a for loop to go through and print each line. Okay, I just noticed this is an optional assignment, but we'll walk through it quickly here and be forewarned. If you click on any of these, it changes everything, so be careful. All right, so here a file's name is read from input, the file is opened, and plum file is assigned with the file object. Each line in plum file contains a name and an integer, the customer name, and the number of plums they have. Complete the assignment of plum data by reading plum file's contents as a string. Okay, so we come over here and we do plum underscore file dot read, and it didn't specify a number of bytes, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, it's a little slow there, but it worked. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Okay, here they want us to, number one, open a file named src underscore name and assign a variable called belt file with the file object. So I'm going to start with belt underscore file equals, and we're going to open src underscore name. Okay. Number two says use belt files read to read the contents of the src name and assign belt data with the string read. All right, so we take belt data and it's going to be equal to belt underscore file dot read, and then it says close the belt file, so we do belt underscore file dot close. Okay, double checking everything, and I'll do a check. Okay, looks good. All right, we'll go to the next one. Okay, here they say a file's name is read from input. The file is open, and plum file is assigned with the file object. Each line in plum file contains an integer representing the number of plums bought in a day. Use a loop to read each line of plum file. Inside the loop, assign sum of plums with the sum of all integers in plum file. Okay. All right, so we're going to need a loop here. And let's start with sum of plums was what they asked for. So let's make sure and initialize it to 0. And then we're going to read each line in plum underscore file. And we will take sum of plums plus equal. So we're adding it to and storing it back in sum of plums. The integer value of the line read. Pretty neat, huh? All right. Cool. Done there. Thank you. Come back for 6.2 shortly.